everybody for the energy tips for week 29. Finally, this is the in-depth view of the energy update for July 14th till July 20th. Welcome back, everybody. I have been recording energy tips every week for you and never had the time to edit them, so I'm going to do a little potpourri here, a smorgasbord of what I think is the most important in context with these upcoming energies for this next week. Yes, so it's a lunar eclipse and a full moon, and it's super intense and super emotional. I think we've all gotten this already. And what do you need here to get through this in a somewhat graceful way? You heart warriors know this. I work with you every day, and you know what I have been busy with these past weeks. Besides the workshop that we did in Iceland, which was phenomenal, we also learned a lot about our emotional processing, and I want to share a bit of this here with you that the heart warriors get in their weekly energy coaching session with me. But I also want to talk about some things that have to do with you really waking up into a new reality and why this comes with this urgency. All right, so what is it that creates this intensity? People ask me over and over again. Well, one thing is, of course, the overall entropy, if you will, that rules our universe, and that is, going into expansion, going into evolution. So this is the scientist in me that, understands why things have to expand. And there are other concepts such as syntropy, which is kind of like the opposite of entropy. And I don't want to bore you with these concepts. While this expansion is going on, there's a pull into a specific sort of fated destiny. And you've got to understand this here when you look at collective energy. So it's not just about how these outer energies affect you. It's also about seeing the larger picture. Why did I call this week, are you the master of your karma or the master of your drama? Well, I guess, I hope it says it all. We are entering a phase here that really points back at ourselves. So we can't really make others, the collective, the politicians, the companies, whatever, responsible for our situation anymore. Why? Because we can feel this inner prompting that it is possible for us to out-vibrate this, to, grow beyond. We all feel this inner code breaker in us that says, liberate, liberate, liberate. You can get past this. And the frustration then sets in when we look into our sort of 3D reality, where we see things stagnating, where we see ourselves being held back. It's an endless drag, and things just keep repeating over and over again. And this is why, we talk about these things every week here. What are those things that can potentially hold us back? This is really important for you to take a deeper look. You don't need to endlessly process this forever. All right, so this is not the point of this inner self-healing work. The point of the inner self-healing work is to understand that you are not alone, that this is part of your human condition, and it's supposed to help you to become more aware of your options, of the choices that you have. So this time right now, and especially this next week, where things are going to be like a powder keg, guys, I'm telling you, any person in your life that is emotionally immature, that is a narcissist, or that is on that sort of lash out, vent, dump habit of doing things, is going to freak out. Okay, so it may not be you freaking out next week. And those of you who have been working on this, there's no reason for you to freak out, because you're just seeing this as a test. You're just seeing this as a welcome opportunity to really see how much you have already learned, how far you have already come. But don't forget that other people don't have the same training as you, and so there will be a lot of stuff flying around. So how can you protect yourself from it? that is the mastering part, okay? That is the self-responsibility aspect that I mentioned in the energy update. And also the part here that comes in with the need to express things correctly, all right? And I've hinted at this in the energy update, that you need to like open up that cover, look underneath the rug. What are these things that you have been sort of pushing away, or just because it's going a little better this week, just put it, that's not really a big problem. These things will all come back to you, and they will have a grip on you whether you like it or not. So that said, many of you will feel a strong pull into some of the family stuff that you have been some of the family stuff that you have already become aware of, like where, say, family karma repeats itself, or, where those ties are not really conducive for you. Not that you have to turn your back onto your family, but, where you see, where you unconditionally see the limitations of your family, okay, and where you recognize that it's actually you now that needs to make that step, that needs to break this family karma. Many of the collective subjects that are coming up here in this next week will have to do with resources, will have to do with sharing, will have to do with working together. And this isn't quite possible yet. So it's still sort of a bit of a drama play and a tragedy also for some countries that is going on. All right. So this the detachment that is needed to evolve into the next level of, say, evolution, where cooperation, exchange, and mutual agreements become possible is not quite there yet. So this coming week, guys, mark my words, is going to be pivotal for the events that are happening here until the end of the year, and especially for the beginning of next year. This is setting the stage, okay? And I'm not recommending to completely check out with what is going on in the collective, because it will affect you as well. It will affect all of us. Okay, so let's look a little deeper here what these things are that I am talking about. We always start out with the energy centers, the chakras that are triggered here in this coming week. So for this next week, it will be your 5th, 6th, and 7th chakra, with the emphasis on your 6th and 7th again. So we had 5th chakra weeks here this last week and the week before that. Now the emphasis is a bit more on your 6th and 7th, on your truth, and how you can reconcile this with this deeper spiritual knowingness that is coming in, the remembrance, and also, your soul that is now beginning to speak to you more, that you have started to commit yourself to wanting, to be a sovereign soul. All right. And all this, of course, wants to go into your heart, into the center of your center, your 4th chakra. But unfortunately, next week, the lower chakras, the first, especially, what makes you feel safe, what makes you feel secure, and a little bit still your 2nd chakra, how you process this emotionally, how you process this mentally, are called, in. And so it can be quite confusing for people who have no training in managing their own energies, who have no training in grounding, in centering, in clearing energies. Okay, so as I've already mentioned here in the energy update, use the power of nature, because the power of nature really is unbribable. That is something that has to do with these universal fields that are impacting us right now. And syntropy is where we are getting pulled into higher levels of harmony, into the higher harmonics, into the higher levels of evolution. All right, so just bear this in mind. Collectively, everybody will feel the sense of urgency, this powder keg thing, and things will get explosive, guys. The earth is rattling, the winds are speeding up. If you live in an earthquake area, don't go into fear. Push through your fear. Be present so that you can tap into your guidance that can tell you, to be at the right place at the right time. Okay, so always remind yourself to ask the true question. What is the true question that you should be asking? And the same applies for the collective. All right, so it's all this stuff from underneath the carpet, from underneath the earth, from underneath, the hidden power structures that are coming forward now. And everything points into the resolution of these old conflicts, these old karmic binds. And some of them are very old, they don't affect you per se because you weren't even born then, but your lineage is. And so, in that way, it can also affect you. But what I am seeing here is really that we're entering a new era. It's like a segment here in our human history that is about 500 years old is coming to an end. And the war that is going on here behind the scenes in the power structures, guys, you will primarily see this play out on the level of the financial markets. And I want to point out something for you crypto fans, because I've been a little bit quiet here in these past months, basically all year, simply to calm down the hype about cryptocurrencies and the trading. I know some of you have invested in cryptos last year, 2 years ago, and this all was under the premise, that you will hold this and that you will sort of sit through all the ups and downs and the volatility and the manipulation of the market. I want to send out a message to you. Obviously, this is not financial advice, but if you have cryptos that you bought, get all your stuff together. Have all your private keys. Know where your cryptos are located. Consolidate them maybe in some of the better wallets that are out now. Have them accessible. With some of the announcements that were made here in this current week, especially in the last couple of days, and today, Thursday, the 11th of July, we are entering a new era, and that is the era of corporate currencies. This is something that has started basically with the Medicis, 500 years ago, to create your own entity, your own sovereignty through your own currency, through your own resources, guys. And this is what the Facebook Libra announcement and the people that are behind that, also the companies that are behind that, really the elite of social media and all the up and coming tech companies from Silicon Valley conjoining together, merging their intelligence and coming up with a quite impressive concept here. However, I'm not talking about, whether you should invest in Libra or not. That's not up to me. This is something that the Crypto Spiritual Group will test here for you and come up with an integrity rating for Libra. What I'm talking about is consciously witnessing something completely new, and that is a third power that will begin to enter, the power structures here that wasn't there before, and that is the corporations. We all know that they have been ruling the world, but by becoming able to rule the financial transactions and to create their own sort of nation, Facebook nation, Uber nation, PayPal nation, and so forth. All right, you're gonna see that things will get rattled. And today we had an announcement here from the Federal Reserve that is showing you the urgency and the fear that is going through these old power structures. Anyway, more in the up and coming crypto spiritual update. Back to our energy tips here for this next week. Understand that the stuff that's going on is much bigger than just your life, but you can be the code breaker here for your own life and push through your own fears, push through your own reactivity, and begin to see opportunity where other people only see lack or chaos or disaster. All right. Physically, eyes, ears, teeth will be a big thing. Nose, so sinuses, headaches, and so forth. Ears, issues with your eyes. Expect that for next week. Don't worry about this. This is all sort of the impact here that these intense energies have on your 6th and 7th chakra. Also, feet, legs, knees, ankles. Okay, so if you have issues with your knees, you want to look into your family karma, because your knees are linked to what you identify with, what you don't want to identify with, and how this is all linked to your childhood and your inner child, family stuff, all right? Use this time for rebuilding your energy system, for rebuilding your immune system, guys. This is serious. I've mentioned this already. In about 4 months, October, November, we're going to have a lot of this sort of worn down physical energy come in, and so you need to prepare for this. Use these 4 months to completely rebuild your immune system, detox, and start from scratch, guys. This is reset, all right? And this is cool because you can consciously observe how you can actually feel better in your own body. This is really important for your soul integrity, for your emotional integrity, and also for your overall well-being, all right? So look at these unresolved issues. Look at the things that you have been shoving away. Stop doing the things that you already know aren't good for you, all right? And pick the healthier version. If you are taking medication, guys, for depression or anxiety, I want to urge you to look into healthier alternatives. Talk to your doctor about this. There's an importance here of no longer tolerating the side effects of your medication. Is really, really important. How do the energies next week affect our emotions? Well, I guess it's clear they're going to affect our emotions big time. And I want to send a big heart to all of you who are already dealing with anxiety. Okay, this is a rough time for you guys. Okay, hang in there, push through your fears. Do not internalize your concerns. Write things down, address them with your loved ones, with the people whom it concerns, your bosses. Or if you don't feel confident enough to actually say it out loud, practice it on your phone. Record what you need to say. Practice these inner and outer dialogues over and over again so that you can finally get all these concerns and worries out. All right. Also, and this is the biggest message here for this next week, the biggest energy tip for this next week is learn about the 6-second rule. Okay, it takes about 6 seconds for an emotion to get a grip on you and to dominate the way you see yourself and the way you see the world. So out vibrate this by slowing down. Okay, apply all these things that you have been practicing, breathing, tapping, in the situation where shit hits the fan, where you're about to lose it, where you're about to freak out. Okay, calm yourself down internally. If this happens in a conversation with somebody else, learn some phrases. Again, here I would strongly recommend you to practice this on your phone. Learn some phrases that can help you to win time. Say things, okay, I hear what you're saying. Let me feel this out a little bit. Acknowledge what the other says. Mirror back what the other says. This gives you time and also helps you to really become aware of what is being said. Okay, there is this aspect here of truly being present with what is being said, not just by the other, also for yourself. So think about what you're going to say. Feel this out first. Where are you truly standing with this? And remember that if you can get past these 6 seconds, take a deep breath, visualize, whatever helps you to calm your energy down. Say, let me feel this out for a moment. 6 seconds is nothing, guys. But when you're in a freak out moment, 6 seconds can be a very long time. And there's a lot of damage that can be done within 6 seconds. All right. Mentally, there's, of course, your critical inner voice that is pouring oil into the fire of your emotions. But you also have to understand that your critical inner voice is like a tape, that keeps replaying, and most of that tape was formed in your childhood, was formed through family members, through people around you when you grew up, even before you could even understand what was being said. So stop these replays, guys. Stop them. You may not have a better way yet of internally communicating things, but the point here of this code breaking is really that you go and reprogram yourself, that you re-record new tapes, okay, and that those need to be more uplifting, they need to be more respectful, they need to be more empowering, and only you can do this. All right, so again here, just like with the emotional impact, pushing through your fears, push through your critical inner voice, okay, challenge it, and learn, literally train yourself, have phrases ready that can help you to push through it, that say, who said, if your critical inner voice says to you, oh, you're such a loser, or, oh, you messed that one up, or why didn't you do this, then learn to say, who says, compared to what, all right? These things are, we take them as a given, but those are just replays, guys. Recognize that you do have a choice, that you do have the power to break through them, but you have to practice that. So it's all about training. Socially, you can imagine, what this kind of intensity can bring into your relationships. So my tip for you is take all your courage together and speak up. Address the things that are essential. Address the things that, have those conversations that you have been procrastinating or shoving away because sometimes things are going okay and you don't need to address this. Especially address it when the chaos is not on, when things are calm and when things are going well. That's when you need to address those things, because that's when you have a better composure, and when the sincerity of it can be felt by the other, okay? So don't just lash out in anger or vent in fear or whatever. When you're feeling good, that is when you need to address those things, all right? So go past what hurts you, and especially go past your ego's illusion that everything's fine. It's not, okay? Push through that. Spiritually, it's all still about making a stance for your soul, and really embodying your soul, growing into, expanding into your soul's integrity. And this is something that not many people have done before, to actually embody their soul while they're alive. And so it is natural that your body, that your emotions, and even your thoughts react with, oh my God, I'm dying. That it feels like, your life force is draining out of you. This is part of this reset, guys. So stay calm here. This is about you becoming self-responsible. So experiment it. It's safe. You're not going to die. All right? Experiment with it. Stay in your fear. Stay in your critical inner voice just a little longer, so that you pass these 6 seconds. All right? So that you can respond rather than react to this. So spiritually, this is of utmost importance, because you're going to have a lot of spiritual etheric stuff come in this next week that will try to impact you in a way that you feel powerless. All right, you'll have a lot of sensations, dreams, and stuff that will make you feel you are under the influence of dark forces. And that is up to you, guys. If you make a stance for your soul, you are no longer under the influence of any kind of dark forces, whether they come from within or the outside. Okay. So energetically, being a code breaker means, being willing to reconcile, being willing to break through these karmic cycles. Be willing to step sideways, guys. Step out of the box. It all starts with energy awareness, become more aware of your sensations, your feelings, your emotions, and your thoughts, and what they actually tell you, which requires you to sit in them a little bit and, become your own little researcher, okay? Write it all down, record it, make this a game, all right? And then learn how to better manage your energy. Okay, so with each of these things that you realize that you're susceptible for, or shit magnets as I called them in the past, the blind spots that you have, train a form, that helps you to get past it. Do this consciously, guys. Don't let your old patterns and the stuff that is on replay determine how you handle things. Do it actively, become proactive, evolve through your energy awareness, and learn how to ground, how to center, how to self-clear, how to harmonize within, how to get this left and this right hemisphere together, how to trust in your inner intuition, how to trust in your energetic sensitivity, and how to trust in your soul's prompting, to do certain things, or to be interested in certain things, to resonate with certain things. And if you realize that most of the stuff that you have been exposing yourself to, the place that you live in, the house that you live in, the people that you live with, aren't really conducive for you, oh well, then go seek a new house, go seek a new location, seek a new job, seek a new family, find your tribe. Find your new tribe, guys. Remember, this is reset. And you want to be the master of your karma and not the master of your drama. Hope this helps you guys. Please help me share these videos. Please comment. All right, know that you can always request a free initial energy coaching session with me. This is what I do here. For those of you who are not familiar with what energy coaching and energy training is, transCODES is like a gym, for empaths and energetically sensitives and people who are awakening to this seventh or eighth sense, whatever you want to call this, to help them to go into self-healing and self-mastery on all levels and all budgets. All right, guys. Thank you for your time. See you next week.